Space, the final frontier. Join us for a bold conversation. Our prime directive? To recap our favorite Star Trek shows, both new and old. To engage in debate about all things Trek. Prepare to energize with phasers set to stun.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Phasers Set to Stun, where we continue to show our love for everything Star Trek. In this ongoing series from a film by podcast, we explore every quadrant of the expanding universe of Trek by covering television, animation, movies, directors, and much more. Plotting the course as always is your core Trek crew. I'm Scott Hoffman.
I'm David Burns.
And I'm Wayne Whited.
And in this episode, we're drawn back into the animated side of Star Trek with one of our favorite fresh new series, Lower Decks, which is unfortunately back for its final season. Wish it was back for more.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the latest adventures of the USS Cerritos, we're calling for a red alert. This episode is full of spoilers, so if you haven't seen the latest episode, please go watch it and then come back to join us. We'll be waiting right here for you. All right, let's break down the latest episode, Starbase 80. Dave, why don't you tell us what it's all about?
I'd be more than happy to. Written by Mae Darman, directed by Bob Suarez. Boimler's facial hair continues to grow and amaze us all. However, something manages to short out the ship's navigation processor, which must be fixed before they can continue on. And the only place they can get that completed is the dreaded and much hated Starbase 80.
Yeah. It's a fear-filled and gel-coated episode.
I gotta tell you, I laughed so hard at the creepy music every time they would show Starbase 80.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Yeah, it feels like Bob Suarez and Mae Darman probably had a lot of fun with this one. Wayne, would you agree?
Oh, I definitely agree. This every season has had like one episode where I just laughed from beginning to end. I probably consider it my favorite episode of the season, and this could very well be this season's because I did laugh from beginning to end of this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody on board is afraid of Starbase 80, not so much for the curse aspect and more so for the overall smell and maybe the threat of tetanus, I guess. When we first see Starbase 80 from the outside, it looks like a place that Khan probably would have ravaged back in the early days and abandoned. On the inside, it kind of reminded me of a cross between Deep Space Nine and the early pilot episodes and the apartment complex that Mama ran in Carl Urban's Dread. Did anybody else get a twinge of dread in this one?
Yeah, I kind of did. You're right.
Yeah.
It's a creepy place, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, it's got all these shops. It's like it's all promenade.
Yeah.
Right? It's all like, and I don't know.
A little seedy. I mean, did you notice the adult theater and the
right? They flew right past that.
The store with all the uniforms from dead people and
yeah,
it was, yikes.
and yet not a Ferengi to be found. That kind of surprised me. Although it's also like the Ferengi don't want to touch this place, so steer clear.
I will say one of the pleasant surprises was Stephen Root.
Yes. Yeah.
As Chief Engineer Jakubowski.
Gene Jakubowski.
Yeah. His name is ridiculous. But yeah, it was nice to have him back in this episode because it was like, 30 years ago he was in that Next Generation two-parter?
Yeah. That's true.
So it was really neat. As soon as he started speaking, I was like, oh my God, it's Stephen Root.
Yeah. Good pull. So cool. Yep. Well, and I was happy to see Cetacean Ops. I always am. And this one absolutely gave me everything that I would want from it, which was a lot more focus in it, but kind of an odd circumstance they find them in.
Yeah.
I just think it's brilliant to have dolphins with their own deck, speaking their own language, and their subtitles. Like, I don't know if the subtitles are for our benefit or if they have like subtitles that they need to. I don't know. It feels like the universal translator should probably just turn it into text or turn it into speech, but I don't know.
Is it sad that I laughed hysterically when they got shocked?
Yeah.
What do you have against dolphins, Dave?
I don't, but that was just so funny.
And then once we finally got on there, let's talk about uniforms a bit.
Yeah.
because
they were all over the place.
They're all everywhere.
God, they got Enterprise era uniforms,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
There's a lot of Easter eggs that obviously we'll dig into later,
Mhm.
but it was a great use of different uniforms and so much different technology. Like we had the wall comms
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the twisting turbo lift controls.
Yeah.
There is so much going on in this episode. I'm telling you, there's probably stuff I would have missed,
Yeah,
to go
yeah,
back and watch it again just to pick it up.
Yeah.
But what I
Yeah.
thought was cool was the Chibukowski was wearing the air vest over his jumpsuit, like Scotty did in Star
Yeah,
Trek
it was.
Five.
Oh yeah,
And relics he did for the Next Generation. So I caught on to that right away. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That's a nice nod.
nice.
My favorite bit, you were talking about the turbo lift, was when Ransom and Freeman get in it, and he sees those old style turn twist handles, and he asks her if she remembered them from being an ensign, and she turns, "I'm not that old."
Yeah,
Oh, that made me laugh hard.
I think my favorite part of this was Freeman and Ransom, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. I mean, the whole episode was fantastic. Like you, Wayne,
Yeah.
I was laughing from beginning to end. But when they got down, when they were trying to get to the arcade level, which was what, level 33, was it?
Yeah,
Or
33,
something like that.
Yeah.
something like
And
that.
it took them
Yeah.
to the basement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they got out, and then she said something about the arcade, and then the elevator said, "Oh, arcade level." And it closed
Yep.
on 'em.
Yep. And then they got we found out about Ransom's love for stairs
Yeah.
when they found out they'd have to climb 30 flights, and he's like, "Yes, you never get this kind of workout."
Yeah, and she looks like she's going to collapse at the top of it.
Yep.
That was great.
It was a nice touch that they have a starbase with no working replicators.
Mhm.
So then you've got Chad the hot dog stand or the corn dog stand.
Corn
guy.
Dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. You just got like random food stands in
Yeah.
engineering. Okay.
Of course.
Yep.
And when we saw that, when they got to the engineer and he was like asleep on that console, right next to him was a little boat with a corn dog setting.
Oh yeah, like a mall boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He had to scoot it out of the way, the little ketchup ramekin and everything else like that. Yeah.
Come on, in the trickery of having them fix Starbase 80, of keep moving them around the ship. Can
Oh,
you fix
yeah.
that? Basically,
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah. That's probably how the alternate Freeman got stuck
Hmm.
at Starbase 80.
Yeah.
Just like fixing all the stuff, catching all the bats.
I gotta say,
Um,
one of the lines, Wayne, it reminded me of you because you turned me on to so much of the British stuff. But when he says, "What's wrong with your doctor?" Oh, he gets that a lot. He's British.
Yeah.
I instantly thought of you, Wayne. Oh my gosh, that was hysterical.
That's exactly what I thought too. You mentioned it earlier too. I also want to call out Chris Westlake's score. There was a lot of like Star Trek 2 elements, especially every
Mhm.
time they showed that star base. But I also got a feel of like Goldsmith's Alien.
Yes.
Times two.
Yes.
It was,
good call.
I would love to hear this music separated again. I mean, we need a soundtrack, Paramount.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Wayne. That like once or twice when I saw that they were doing that music, I'm like, man, that really sounds like Alien. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a fantastic job.
That's where I thought of Wayne. I was like, there's gotta be like musical Easter eggs in this thing.
Oh,
I think it was borrowing a lot of elements, but I was like,
Yeah.
damned if this isn't part of like there were some Wrath of Khan elements that I had heard when they're on that the starbase that they reach,
yeah.
and there's everybody like hanging from the ceiling and things like that. That's where it went for me.
Yeah, there was that bit. I'm not actually sure how it's created, but it's like when they instead of using the bow on a strings, they kind of slam their hand against the strings and it makes a real screeching sound. Horner used that a lot on Star Trek 2, and I heard it a lot in this score too.
Interesting. I didn't know that I did that. Interesting.
So here's something interesting. So we're halfway through the final season. This was episode 5.
Right.
We've only got 5 episodes left. So do you think that we're gonna have like balls to the walls episodes for the next 5 episodes because
I do.
they have to wrap this up basically? So where are they going to go with this? I mean, kind of this one kind of got away from the theme that we have been seeing in the last few episodes.
Well, yeah.
Kind of. But what I got out of this episode, and I've seen quite a few of these episodes, is the self-acceptance piece. That seems to be very heavy in this season. If you guys
Yeah.
haven't picked up on that,
No,
And I'm sure you
glad
have.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
So that seems to be a major theme in this season, and I get that, because these characters have goofed off so much, and they kind of haven't, been picky about themselves and each other, and not taking themselves seriously. And this season, it's starting to get real for them. I mean, even I think Mariner mentions this in here that she's starting to really enjoy being, responsible and wanting to become, one of the crew or an officer and that kind of thing. So that's really starting to come out in this season.
And maybe that's one of the elements for this one. I've been thinking about how does this tie into everything else besides maybe setting up Starbase 80 to be an important element in the last 5 episodes. But what you said about that idea of self-acceptance, it does seem like everybody is gelling together. Well, not in the gross way like they had to apply them, but everybody's understanding each other. Everybody has, good working relationships. Maybe it's that final tumbler that they had to trigger that gets the whole rest of the season able to just focus on here's the big climax, because we do have those rifts, those dimensional rifts that somebody is creating, so we have to have them explain who that is, set up whether it's a threat or something accidental, and then have enough episodes to dive more into other versions or alternate versions of people coming over, right? So there's going to be a lot they have to work through, and maybe this is just the last episode to say, like, all right, we've had the fun, now we have to finish up the story and really rush things through.
Well, it looks like that, but and on the surface, it does look like a self-contained story. But I'm not willing to dismiss it quite yet because we've got 5 more episodes coming up, and I don't know if many of you listeners understand this reference, but remember the series Babylon 5, where something would appear in first season that looked like nothing, but then would become very important later on in the season. It could we could have saw something that was very important, and we just glanced over it right now. So I'm going to keep everything in this episode in mind.
And to that point, Starbase 80 has come up quite a bit this season.
Yeah.
So you might be onto something there, Wayne, for sure.
Well, and we don't see Elolorians all that much.
No, you're right.
And when we do, they're pretty significant. So it seems like there will be something tied to that.
Yeah, I believe this is only the 4th time we've ever seen one of their race. Guinan, we've got Soren, we've got that guy from Deep Space Nine, and her.
Yeah. Well, it was a very fun episode. A lot of Easter eggs all over the place. I'm kind of curious, if you could spend a day on Starbase 80 just to explore the arcade, would you do it? Would you suffer through the bats and all this other kind of stuff?
Definitely. Those look like some fun games.
Yeah.
It looked like it ran the gamut.
Crazy. See the one game, Cardboard Crazy? I'm curious just to play that one.
I saw one that was like half a Ferengi head on the top of it. I didn't catch many of the other details because there was so much going on.
Right.
But I don't know. It looks like it's a bat-infested, somewhat smelly. Everything's a little gross, has a little bit of slime on it. But it looks like it'd be a fun place to visit.
I agree.
I like corn dogs.
Yeah, that's true. And it sounds like they're amazing. I don't envy the crew members that were licking the walls and the floors. That was an interesting touch. Like, everybody goes possessed by this, anaphasic energy.
Yeah.
And what it makes them do is to, I guess, grab crew members and take them somewhere, but we don't see them like eating anybody or hurting anybody.
They're just dragging them somewhere.
They're just being weird.
Yeah.
Right? Just in general.
I enjoyed that twist. Like, it was actually the crew of the Cerritos that was causing the problem. They were the curse, not actually Starbase 80. That was awesome.
Well, and it's what Mariner was afraid of, right?
Yeah.
Is that she would just get stupider and stupider. And they're at the end when they get on the Cerritos, and one of the heroes is Chad, the corn dog guy. Yeah. And he has that Wolverine moment where he kind of snicked, handful of corn dogs.
Yeah.
Good old Chad. Yep. I think he earned a pip that day.
He did. He sacrificed himself for everybody else. Loved it.
And that last scene, I mean, the episode ended with a big laugh. I mean, with Freeman and Ransom, where they're cleaning up the bats, and then that big one appears down on the end there, and all they have in their hands is the broom and the dustpan.
Yep.
And then that was the way they ended the episode. You got to wonder, what happened.
Yep.
It's all left to
Yeah.
the mind.
I think the biggest laugh for me was when they have Clem, the anaphasic, non-corporeal form.
Yeah.
Clem, who I think was voiced by Jerry O'Donnell in this
Well,
one.
could have been,
Jerry
yeah.
O'Connell.
It could have
Sorry.
been.
O'Connell,
Yeah,
yeah.
O'Connell, it could have been. Yeah.
So when he says, "Don't tell my bosses, okay? They can kind of be dicks."
Yeah.
Nice
we
touch.
can all relate to that.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we always get into this idea of kind of a Pip-worthy moment, and it feels like, Dave, going back to what you were saying before, they've kind of graduated beyond that.
Mhm.
But it's something that we always talk about. I know for me, I'll go with Mariner. I feel like she was leading the way through the entire episode, got over a lot of things, and I don't know, kicked butt yet again. But
Yeah.
Dave, what about you?
I'm actually going to go with Commander Knox. I thought she did a fantastic job in this episode because she's the one that actually brought Mariner around to realize to not judge the crew by their looks. Don't
that's true.
judge Starbase 80 by its looks.
Yeah.
And with her able to bring that acceptance to Mariner and make her realize that, I really enjoyed Commander Knox in this one for sure.
Yeah.
Great character. Wayne, what
I
about
agree.
you?
Well, yeah, I chose Mariner too, because just like what you brought up earlier, David, I noticed the same thing this season. This whole season is about life lessons, and this was hers. We had last week it was Maha's, and then before that was Tendy's, and then before that was Rutherford's. Now, and then Boimler, he's just doing his thing, doing his best to try to be like his alternate universe self. But this was her episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good choice.
Dave, as far as if you could be any character in this episode, who would it be and why?
I'm going to have to go with Ransom. I'm telling you, I absolutely
Dave's
love...
getting all gelled up.
Yes.
Oh, I know. Oh my gosh, the image.
But just being with Freeman, they had so much fun, even though they were going around this Starbase fixing things. But it was just the hysterical moments with Ransom, the gel scene, the going up the steps. But then, come on, they get to go to the arcade. Come on.
That's true. Wayne, what about you?
I'm going to go with Commander Knox because she's in charge of Starbase 18. I don't think it looks that bad. I mean, it's got that retro style look to it. If I was her, I'd fix it up and make it a big tourist spot. Like a 50s diner, something like that. And then it's got the arcade. I want to be her in that place.
I would just want to be cleaning it the whole time. Just be there spritzing like it won't come clean. My answer again is Mariner, because she knew enough to be careful about what she was getting into in the station. Everybody else is just like, wow, fantastic, and didn't seem to have too much control or a little bit of kind of abandon. But she eventually came around and started appreciating it. She also didn't get possessed by Clem, so she didn't have to lick any walls or any floors, which is a godsend.
Yeah.
I like how when Boimler finally snapped out of it and he was like, "Ugh, what am I doing?" Well, we touched on it a little bit earlier, talking about Easter eggs. I know there's a ton of them in this one. As far as a ton of Easter eggs, I noticed there was a giant pile of red shirts in that one store where they were taking them all from dead people, and it was just like, wow, nobody's buying those things.
Brutal.
Wayne, what else did you pick up?
There were so many of them that I had to scale back to some few important ones that I thought. But to start off, the Cerritos was heading to Casperia Prime when it was forced to make a detour. Casperia Prime was like the new vacation destination of the Alpha Quadrant. It was mentioned many, many times during Deep Space Nine, but especially in the sixth season episode Inquisition. That was where Bashir was going to go before the spies took him and tried to make him an agent. And then, of course, we talked about the decon chamber scene. That was very similar to what was done in the Enterprise pilot, Broken Bow. We even mentioned to Paul in that scene. But there are quite a few Next Generation references here. I had so many of them. We have the Elolurans. We talked about that. There was a quick mention of Q. The Akamarians. That was a race that we saw during the third season, the Vengeance Factor. The Chicharan parasites. That was the thing that infected Geordie LaForge in the fourth season episode Identity Crisis. And the anaphasic life forms, of course, that was sort of Sub Rosa. That Beverly Crusher had the hots for that.
I'm surprised there's no candles in this one.
Right.
It really was.
And then, of course, we've got the shop, and there's so much stuff in this. We saw uniforms from the original series, the motion picture, the Wrath of Khan, both the uniforms and the away team jackets. We saw an original series Klingon uniform, the gangster hats that Kirk and Spock wore in the Piece of the Action. We saw clothing from the Edo, that was the Next Generation's Justice, and Ruck's uniform from What Are Little Girls Made Of. There were original series tricorders, communicators, Admiral Jameson's wheelchair, that cylinder-like carrying case that Beverly Crusher always carried around on the Next Generation. We even saw a Kelvin Universe Starfleet Academy dress hat, which I have no idea how it got there.
Wow.
Khan's broken necklace was seen, and a lot of other things that I probably missed. The whole scene was just a wealth of Easter eggs.
It seems like a very pause-worthy episode,
It was.
right? Like any one of these frames, if you just pause it, you'd probably be able to pull apart a lot of different things.
You definitely
was
want to
so
revisit this one
detailed.
so much,
Yeah.
Because there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that you miss. You want to
Oh,
go back and watch again, and just to watch the background.
Yeah. This is one of those episodes that you're going to watch over and over again and enjoy.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Well, we got 5 left to go. I don't remember seeing any kind of trailers for next week. I'm not even sure I really want to guess at what's happening next. I just want to see it unfold.
Yep. Just sit back and enjoy.
Exactly.
Yep.
But I think we're in for a good and wild ride these last 5 episodes, because
Yeah.
got to get into the big story, and it's happened.
Yep.
Yep, for sure. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for coming back on and talking through another episode.
Of course.
It's always great.
As always, thanks to our listeners for joining us. Hailing frequencies are always open for you to share your thoughts and questions on Facebook, Instagram, and your favorite social channels. Email us at afilmbypodcast@gmail.com. Find us online at afilmbypodcast.com. And if you're looking for more exclusive content and swag, send some Latinum our way through Patreon. We'll see you next time for another episode of Phasers Set to Sun.
And remember, Chad lives to dog another day.
That's right.